Hello and welcome to another edition of TSL Talk. Today I'm joined by my regular colleague, the Mercury's own pin-up boy, Mr. September, Adam Smith. Adam, we better start with the Tigers first. It's the first real big upset of the season, I suppose. Hobart down in Glenorchy at the TCA yesterday.
Yeah, it was a result that probably not many people would have predicted. Glenorchy had been flying, Hobart sort of been thereabouts, showing some glimpses of form, but not many people would have given them a chance, and they've knocked them off, and Glenorchy have lost 2 in a row now.
Yeah, and looking at the losses, I think that probably what would disappoint Byron Howard the most is they haven't made the most of the opportunities against North Hobart in the first quarter. I think they kicked 1-6 or 1-7, and yesterday they kicked 2-10 in the first quarter, when these games could have been well in hand by quarter time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how many times you see teams really need to make the most of their opportunities when they get them, not just TSL, all levels of football, and if you don't do it and you let the sides back in, this is what can happen, I guess.
The Magpies have got a few at the moment, especially some suspensions and injuries to their ruckman, and obviously Jason Ackermanis wasn't playing, and Reece Mott. Maybe their depth is not as good as what we first thought.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to say. They've got a heap of players now because they've got all the 3 clubs in the SFL as well, so you'd like to think there'd be a few more, but I think the ruckman was the big one. We touched on last week. I think Todd Willing is probably really an underrated player in the league, and he probably took, by the looks of it, played pretty well, not up against much in the weekend, and might have given his guys first use of the ball.
And rumour of the King's death has been a bit premature. You saw Clarence defeat North Hobart in what looks like a cracking game, but Clarence bounced back really well.
Yeah, they did. Look, they were under the pump early. North Hobart got the jump on them. They were 27 points up, I think it was, midway through the second term, and sort of got the feeling that maybe the era has sort of come to an end, but as all good teams do, they fought back. They're still missing a host of key players, and they were challenged in the last quarter. North Hobart got the lead back again, and you thought maybe they'd drop their bundle, but the young kids stood tall, and you can't write off a champion team.
There's always a lot of debate probably about who's the best player in the competition, and 2 names that always come up are Cameron Thurley and Ken Hall, but it was really Thurles that turned that game against the Demons.
Yeah, look, if he's not the best player in the state, well, I'd like to find me a better player who is. I mean, he's had 3, voting, probably 3 best in a row now, 9 votes. You'd be surprised if he's probably not leading the Tassie medal at the moment, but he can do it anywhere, really, can't he? He plays midfield, he goes forward, and anybody who saw the last goal of the game that he kicked under pressure on his left foot, snapped from the boundary, class players can do that, and yeah, for me, he's the best player in the state.
And the team that Clarence coach Brett Gapeman wrote off the week before, Lauderdale, they just keep hanging around there and just out of the top 5 on percentage at the moment.
Yeah, they are. They had a big win over Devonport. They were, tied at not as being finals contenders by Brett Gapen. The draw may pose some problems for that, obviously, with the likes of North Launceston and Burnie getting to play some weaker teams up there. But if they keep winning some games and hanging around, they might cause a few surprises.
They could, yeah, like you're saying, they've got it in to knock some of the top 5 teams off, and maybe their development is just a bit further ahead than what everyone thinks.
Yeah, absolutely. They've picked up a few bigger bodies this year as well. Matthew Smith we've spoken about. They've got a big ruckman from Melbourne who's come over in Hayden Smith as well, and he looks like a fairly likely type from what I've seen. So, the young kids are coming on. They've got some more experienced players around there, which is what they've needed, and they're making some big steps.
And change of coach to South Lonnie hasn't changed the result, unfortunately.
No, we talk about it every week. There's probably not much more we can really say about that, is there? Unfortunately, they've put their captain in as coach, and he's out for the year. Unfortunately, he's their second best player behind Mitch Thorpe, and it's going to be a long, long season for them now, I fear.
And the muscles from Launceston, Brian Finch, just keeps kicking goals. He's got 8 against Burnie on the weekend. He's on 37, and they're averaging about 6 a game. He's well on the way to a century.
He is. He went close last year. He seems to be getting better this year, and he was down there. They play Lauderdale this weekend down there. He might be in for another big bag if they can't stop him.
What's your game of the round for the weekend?
Look, there's going to be a few lopsided ones, I think, here. Probably North Launceston, North Hobart, you'd have to say. I think, North Hobart, they'll want to bounce back after the disappointment of last week. North Launceston, we don't know what to take from them week in, week out, but, at home, they might put up a good fight.
Yeah, it's the thing with North Lonnie. They're yet to beat any team in the top 5. They've got to where they are with wins over the lower ranked teams. This is their chance for them to make a stance.
Yeah, it is. They've got the cattle on the field, and inconsistencies plagued them throughout the history of the state leagues. So hopefully they can put in a good fight and really give it to the Demons.
Well, Adam, thanks again for your thoughts. Remember, for all your TSL stories, pick up your copy of the Mercury or go to the MercuryOnline.